The ground should have opened up and swallowed me whole. There he was, my husband, standing in the hotel lobby, briefcase in hand, eyes locked on me as I stepped out of the elevator with another man. The world stopped. My heart stopped. Everything I had built for 8 years shattered in that single frozen moment. But let me take you back to where it all began, to the night I made the worst decision of my life. If you enjoyed this video, kindly like, comment, share, and subscribe for more content. It was 1 a.m. on a Tuesday. I had just woken from a nightmare, drenched in sweat, heart pounding against my ribs. My husband lay beside me, breathing peacefully, his strong arm draped across the pillow. He looked so calm, so content. This was the man I had loved for 8 beautiful years, the father of my 3 children, the provider who made sure we never lacked anything. He was a lion, fierce, protective, commanding respect in every room he entered. When he spoke, people listened. When he loved with fire. I was proud to be his queen. Then his alarm rang. I reached over to silence it, my fingers brushing against the screen of his phone. That's when the voice came, soft, insidious, wrapping itself around my thoughts like smoke. Why don't you check his WhatsApp? What if he's hiding something? I tried to push it away, I really did, but curiosity is a dangerous weapon, and once it's loaded, it's almost impossible not to pull the trigger. My thumb hovered over the app. Just one look, I told myself, just to be sure. I opened WhatsApp, and there it was. A chat, a woman's name I didn't recognize, messages that made my stomach turn, flirty words, playful emojis, terms of endearment that should have been reserved for me. My vision blurred, my hands trembled, the phone felt like it weighed 1,000 pounds. I felt betrayed, confused, angry. A tornado of emotions ripped through my chest, tearing apart every ounce of trust I had built over the years. How could he do this to me? How could he smile at me every day, hold me every night, and lie to my face? 1,000 thoughts raced through my head, each one darker than the last. Should I wake him up and confront him right now? Should I throw the phone at his face and demand answers? Or should I stay silent and plan my revenge? By morning, I couldn't even look into his eyes. He noticed immediately. That was one thing about my husband. He was observant. He could read me like a book, sense when something was wrong before I even said a word. "Baby, what's wrong?" he asked, his voice gentle, concerned. "Nothing," I said, my voice flat, cold. He frowned, stepping closer. "Did I do something? Last night, was I not good enough?" I almost laughed. Good enough? He was always amazing. My tiger who knew exactly how to satisfy me. There was no fault in him in that area. But my pride wouldn't let me speak the truth. My anger had built a wall between us, and I was too stubborn to tear it down. Instead, I made the worst decision of my life. I decided to cheat back, an eye for an eye. He would feel the pain I felt. He would know what betrayal tasted like. And foolishly, I chose my ex, someone who had always lingered around the edges of my life, waiting for an opportunity. I called him that afternoon, my voice shaking with anger and hurt. "I need to see you," I said. He didn't ask questions. He just sent me an address, a hotel downtown, room 304. What I didn't know, what I couldn't have possibly known, was that my husband had a business conference at that exact same hotel. If you enjoyed this video, kindly like, comment, share, and subscribe for more content. I arrived at the hotel just after 2 p.m., my heart pounding with adrenaline and misplaced rage. I told myself I was doing the right thing. I told myself he deserved this, but deep down, a small voice whispered that I was making a mistake. I ignored it. I met my ex in the lobby. He smiled, that familiar smile that once made my heart flutter years ago. Now it just felt empty. We took the elevator up to the 3rd floor, room 304. The door clicked shut behind us. For the next 2 hours, I tried to convince myself I was getting my revenge, but all I felt was hollow, dirty, broken. When it was over, I couldn't get out of that room fast enough. I grabbed my purse, fixed my hair, and headed for the elevator. My ex walked beside me, talking about something I wasn't even listening to. All I wanted was to go home, shower, and forget this ever happened. The elevator doors opened. We stepped into the lobby, and that's when I saw him. My husband, standing near the reception desk, briefcase in hand, conference badge clipped to his shirt. His eyes met mine, and in that instant, I watched something die inside him. He didn't yell, he didn't cause a scene. He just looked at me, then at the man beside me, then back at me. His jaw tightened, his hands clenched into fists, and then he turned and walked out. I couldn't breathe. My legs felt like they would collapse beneath me. The world tilted on its axis. My ex was saying something, but I couldn't hear him over the roaring in my ears. I ran. I ran to my car, hands shaking so badly I could barely get the key in the ignition. I drove home in a blur, tears streaming down my face, my mind replaying that look in his eyes over and over again. When I finally pulled into our driveway, his car was already there. I sat in mine for 10 minutes trying to gather the courage to go inside. My legs felt like jelly as I walked up the steps. My hands trembled as I opened the door. He was sitting on the couch, staring at nothing. "Go inside," he said, his voice quiet, controlled. Those words hit me like a freight train. Everything cleared in that moment. The anger, the pride, the revenge, all of it evaporated, leaving only raw, crushing regret. I fell to the floor, sobbing, begging, crawling towards him. "Please, please, I'm sorry. I made a mistake. Please don't do this." He didn't look at me. He just stood up and walked into our bedroom, closing the door behind him. The next few days were a nightmare. Our families got involved, uncles, aunts, parents. Everyone gathered at our home to try to salvage what was left of our marriage. They sat us down, asked us to explain what happened. My husband was asked to speak first, and for the first time in 8 years, I saw tears in his eyes. "Please," he said, his voice breaking, "help me ask my wife what I did wrong to deserve this. Have I not been there for her? Have I not provided? Have I not loved her? What did I do to make her sleep with another man?" My heart shattered into a million pieces. I couldn't stay silent. "But you cheated on me first," I shouted, tears streaming down my face. "I saw it on your WhatsApp, the messages, the flirting. You betrayed me first." Everyone turned to him. The room went silent. Calmly, he pulled out his phone and handed it to one of the elders. "Show them," he said to me. I grabbed the phone, hand shaking, and opened WhatsApp. I scrolled to the chat, my finger trembling as I pointed at the messages. "There, see? He was talking to another woman." The elder took the phone. He scrolled. He frowned. Then he looked at me with something that looked like pity. "When were these messages sent?" he asked quietly. I blinked. "What do you mean? They're right there. Look at the date." I looked, and my entire world collapsed. The messages were from 6 years ago, before we even met, before I was even in his life. If you enjoyed this video, kindly like, comment, share, and subscribe for more content. The room erupted. Family members shook their heads in disbelief. My mother covered her face with her hands. My husband just sat there, staring at me with those broken eyes. I destroyed my marriage over a ghost, over messages from a past that had nothing to do with me. I hadn't even bothered to check the date. I had let pride, anger, and the devil's whisper guide me straight into destruction. I fell apart. I begged, I pleaded, I promised I would do anything to fix this. But some things, once broken, can't be repaired. My husband asked for a divorce. The papers came 2 weeks later. I signed them with shaking hands, tears blotting the ink. My children, my beautiful babies, asked me why Daddy didn't live with us anymore. I didn't know what to tell them. I lost everything in 2 minutes. 2 foolish, painful minutes that cost me my home, my husband, my family, my peace. Now I live with the weight of that mistake every single day. I see my children on weekends, I watch my ex-husband move on with his life, and I replay that night over and over, wishing I could go back and make a different choice. But life doesn't give second chances to those who act on assumptions. So I'm telling you this story as a warning. Don't let the devil's whisper get into your head. Don't let pride guide your decisions. Don't seek revenge when you're hurt. And above all, never act without the full truth. Because sometimes it only takes seconds to destroy a lifetime. Verify before you accuse, communicate before you retaliate, think before you act. Don't make my mistake. Don't lose your forever over a lie you told yourself.